Hi! Welcome to a new episode of the Sleeping in Class podcast.
Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back to my squeaky ass chair. I'm Anthony.
I'm Mike.
I'm your boy Rich Frazier.
And I'm Yusuf.
And today we got a couple things to talk about.
We always talk about stuff.
But today we're talking about Extinction, which is a game that's got a lot of popularity recently. I know I seen a trailer for it, and then I seen like a lot of videos coming out with like breakdowns of how they thought the game was gonna be, and I don't know, people was hyping it up on YouTube. And it just came out on the 10th, I think. I know it came out recently, and it was trash. Apparently, it is trash. Okay, like it is a shadow of what it was sold up to be.
Yeah.
And it was a 10th thing. And yeah, like the controls don't work. Like the game is glitchy. It's like half a finished game. It's like people compare it in gameplay style to Attack on Titan, which in itself, like the game, it is cool, I guess, because it's Attack on Titan, but the gameplay isn't anything to marvel at. So to be a watered down version of that is like
born real quick.
Yeah.
Like all you do is behead people. You climb people, behead them.
Yeah.
Shadow of Colossus plus Attack on Titan with little hints of God of War.
Yeah. Except not
really
living up to any of those titles. I don't know. That made me think. Like I wasn't really. I wasn't waiting on this game or anything. I just saw that it got hyped up. But there were games in my past that I definitely was hype about that when they came out just was disappointing as all shit. Battlefront being my most recent version of that. But like, what are games that y'all just had in the past y'all was waiting on?
I fell for Destiny 1 and I fell for Battlefront 1. Like
Destiny wasn't. I mean, people were out for Destiny.
I don't like it.
At least the first one, though.
Like no.
What was disappointed about it?
It was like, what about it?
The story, like the lore and shit, was real weird.
It was real, just formulaic. You just go to one point and then you have to wait there while a timer ticks down and you just kill enemies to protect a certain point. It was just a lot of that, and just like the map was very limited. Only a certain amount of people were allowed to be in that certain area, so like there wasn't really that much people interaction. It was like the story ended at a certain point, and then the DLC would continue the story, but like, why would I need the DLC?
Why would it be in the regular game?
Story.
You know what? It's weird that Bungie fell into that trap, because their last game before that was like Halo 3, right?
I don't know. Like, I'd say the main people that arrived for Destiny 1 were people who fuck with the multiplayer. Like, so that they would have a reason to come back. Because after I got done with the story, I was like, I'm done with this game. Like, it's like,
Yeah. I mean, that's surprising, especially for the story part, because even if like they mess up with gameplay because I don't know, they move to the next gen and they trying to escape the whole we're known for Halo thing. I don't know, the story, they put a lot into the Halo story, so I don't know. I should have been anticipating Destiny, but for whatever reason, I just was never like looking at it like that.
Battlefront 1, they didn't even put a goddamn story in it.
Yeah, that got me. Battlefront really got me. I'm glad I didn't buy it. But
I bought it. I know you ordered that.
I'm surprised, like, because I was a strong supporter of the pre-order model, and I just didn't do it for this one, and it just happened to be the one time where it paid off, because
I got caught up in a super hype. I was like, yes, it's automatically going to be good.
Did you play the old Battlefront?
No, I was like, I don't even care.
I don't know. I wasn't seeing a lot of the stuff that I saw in the old Battlefront in the trailers, so that kind of like tipped me off a little bit, but I still thought it was going to be good in its own way because it was DICE, and Battlefield games are good, so...
It was right around the time when the pre-orders for the PS4 were happening. So like I think that was around the summer before it came out, and so like they had all those games on like pre-order. So I was like, PS4, all these games are going to be great. Purchase.
They were still fucking they were still fucking up. I mean, it wasn't them though. It was
just time for me to sit back and rub my hands until these games are delivered to me through Amazon Prime.
I know another game for me was Red Faction. I don't know if y'all ever played either of the Red Faction games, but the first one was like, it was crazy. It was an open world game where you basically can destroy everything, and you got a bunch of vehicles you can use, and the story was alright, but like it was really the gameplay and the exploration element that kept me playing that game for like ever. And then its sequel was like leveled as shit. Like it was it was really like just going through a level, and there was no open world element. I'm not remembering the name of those types of games right now, but
Sandbox linear.
Linear game. But yeah, I was just like, this is not what I expected from this. Like the story is all right, and the gameplay is trash. So, and I bought that shit the first day. So I basically had to take it back, and I sold it back before I got past like the second or third level for like $30 because the game stopped. So yeah, that got me. I don't know. There's been a couple more, but
did that game take place on Mars?
Yeah, the first one did. I'm not even sure if the sequel did because I played through like a couple levels and was just mad and took it back. But the first one definitely did.
I think I remember seeing a show on Sci-Fi that was based on that. I think it was like
a show based on
a movie, like a TV movie based off of Red Faction on Sci-Fi. I don't think it was that good. But
I mean, the story was not like I said. It was okay in the game, and game stories can rarely be adapted to movies anyway. So, like they're told completely different.
That's true. I mean, it hasn't been proven yet.
I mean, I don't think it's not impossible, but like it's not done right now for whatever reason. I guess maybe because games stories are told differently. Like it's interactive, and you have a lot more time to tell a story. Like, because you got to play through it. Like the story takes as long as the player takes the.
I don't know. Like a good story has a decent plot, good characters. And
yeah. I mean, it's no excuse.
Like, it just seems like I don't know, but I'm not a writer. I don't know.
It's no excuse, but yeah.
And back in the 64 days, I had the original. What's it called? Superman 64 and Rugrats Scavenger Hunt.
Oh shit!
I was just popular title, buy it, like especially when I was a kid, like, and those were both not that great games that I did not progress far in because of their shittiness.
I think if when I was a kid, I didn't exactly count anything as bad. Like if I couldn't beat it, I just chalked it up to maybe this game is too hard for me or this is not my type of game. But I never outright called it bad. I kind of blamed my ability in the game more than the game. But now that I look back, I realize some of those games were just actually bad.
like Superman 64, like if it starts you out flying through rings and you can't really fucking
the flying controls are awful.
Oh my god! And just being a kid, just getting so frustrated. It's like, what's going on here? Like,
I would have just got frustrated and thought, I can't beat this game. Like, I wouldn't even thought this game is bad. I don't know. It was weird.
I'll tell you another game I was kind of disappointed in. I've always been a fan of the Need for Speed series.
Yeah.
Payback disappointed me.
I don't think I played Payback.
I played it with a friend of mine not too long after it came out, and I just don't like the fact that when you go to buy stuff for it, like especially like the performance parts, instead of buying what you want, it's more like a roulette system. So
loot boxes before loot boxes,
and it's like like with that, it's like you don't know what you're gonna get, so you're putting money into not what you want.
Yeah,
it's so difficult to customize your car.
Yeah, that's stupid in a car game. Like you're supposed to be able to make your car however you want it. I don't know, that's weird. can't imagine that in like Forza, like, because they got like damn near every car part that's ever existed available to customize. And I'm not a driver or a racer, but I would know if like they actually, the parts that you use affect how your car drives in an accurate way in the game. But like that shit is crazy how many different parts they have that are customizable, and for them to take some shit like that out, like, yeah, I can imagine how that would be displayed. It's another game, Burnout. Yeah, that just reminded me because I played Burnout Revenge, and that game was great. Like, you get it for the fantasy element. Like, you just exploded a bunch of cars. Like, they had a destruction mode where you would like go off a ramp in a car, and like they would have like barrels of fire around. I mean, barrels of gas and other explodable cars, and you would just try and land in the best spot to destroy as much shit as possible. And that shit was just so fun. And then the next game that came out was Burnout Paradise. And I did not like that game. They took out all the destruction, and it was really just like Grand Theft Auto without the everything but the driving, and you don't even steal the cars. It's just, you just drive around the city. Like,
like even recently, like sometime last year, it's called Mass Effect Andromeda. I was still being my conservative self. Like I'm only gonna wait until like I get the confirmation that it's all right. So I waited till like the day before like it came out, because like everybody was like kind of giving the green light a little bit, and then I bought it, and then I experienced the game, and I was like, okay, I'm stopped playing this.
Monty bought it. I kind of feel bad. I had my friend buy this game because of my perception of Mass Effect. Like, Mass Effect is one of my favorite series ever. And I was like, I mean, the rest of them are good. It should be good. But then he bought it, and I don't even think he ever even tried to play it. But I had borrowed it from him for a little bit, and like I didn't even get past like the first planet. Like, I didn't get off the first planet. I was just like, I don't know, not what I expected.
I got pretty deep into the game, and then that was just like, this is just the same thing again and again, and there's no change to it, and it's not getting any better.
That's messed up. You came in on the worst entry of 2 series and got judged.
I mean, I played 1.
Oh, okay.
And I played 2, and I got pretty deep into 2, but then I was playing on somebody else's system, so like
2 is still my favorite one.
I never really finished it.
And the ending is probably the reason. That game had a great ending.
I was like, damn, I need to finish 2, but I don't have 2, so I don't want to go to 3. So I never watched or played 3, or watched any reviews about the end of 3. But I know it was bad. So I
wouldn't even say it was bad though. Like it kind of, well, no, it was bad because it didn't matter. It like everything that happened didn't matter, but I felt like that was kind of symbolic in a way too.
I knew that it disappointed a lot of people.
Yeah.
And
they kind of downplayed the Reapers.
It's like new game, new us. And Andromeda, we're gonna change a lot of things around now this time, guys. Everything's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Like, okay, shoot, like 2's good. Like maybe I'm gonna go back to 2. No, we're not going back to 2.
Yeah, but 2 had a good ending, and but it didn't have a full ending. Like you knew the story had to be continued, but the way the game ended was just really good. So it was just like, because that's, well, I don't want to spoil it, but they reveal something about how the Reapers are created and how their life cycle works at the end of the game, and it makes a lot of sense in relation with the rest of the game. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't get caught in the Mass Effect trap either too. I'll let somebody else take the fall for me in that one. But in other news, Bow Wow is coming out with a new album. Correct? When is he coming out with this album? Did they say? We just watched the Breakfast Club interview he did.
And I don't think it says. ready to go as
Oh,
it seemed at the beginning of it.
I don't know. I feel like Bow Wow was always talking about new music, but I never hear anything new from Bow Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, stop. Bow Wow is coming out with an album.
Why? Like a full studio album, not even like a mixtape or like
Use
just
the
a
word
couple of
album.
songs you feel like putting out.
Use the word album.
Why? Let it die. Let it die.
Maybe Bow Wow got some fire. Maybe he gonna stick with him.
No,
Chris
he
Brown
does
bars.
not. He does not.
Yeah.
I can't remember any time I have ever been interested in anything Bow Wow has ever done. Like
I won't say
besides-
that.
No, I mean like besides for when he was a kid.
Yeah, like Kid Bow Wow.
Yeah, like
But even with that, a lot of it comes from the fact that he was a kid.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
he
and
was
that we were
best.
kids too.
We just found out in that interview, the first song he wrote, he was 14. So like,
Everything before
Everything
that,
before
it
that was written by other
written
people.
yeah, like the Brad, Jermaine Dupri, and I think he was working with Ti at a certain point.
Yeah.
Some semi-ghost written by him. What's it called? I'd say like his interest as far as I was concerned, like he came in different. Since he's been in the game so long, there was different phases to Bow Wow, in my opinion. Like back when we were kids, him doing the Harlem Shake, releasing all those songs and shit, riding around in mini carts with goddamn Solange.
Oh yeah.
Even though Solange was hella older than that, I was like, oh shoot, like. I was like,
I think every nigga hated on Bow Wow.
yeah, like I mean,
Now every nigga can hate on Bow Wow and it's cool. we have our time to shine. We can hate on Bow Wow in peace, but we couldn't do that back then because all the niggas love us.
it's like he disappeared for like a little while, and then he came back when we were in middle school, like 2004, 2005, 2006, and then he was in the movies and shit, and then like. He came back with the braids and shit, but "Let Me Hold You" sing with Mario and Chris Brown and shit. Like,
But with that song, be real. Can you remember any of Bow Wow's verses?
No, I can't.
alright, my interest dwindled at that point. I mean, I was like, okay, I'm not
honestly don't know.
I'm not a young
that
black
song.
girl, so I have no interest in this guy anymore. Like,
Except for the chorus. That's the only part I got.
but, like,
That's it. All the songs, once he became older,
yeah.
it's the hook. And the hook was sung, and I do mean sung, by someone else.
Yeah.
Whether it be Omarion, Chris Brown, what was the joint they had?
You missed
Shorty
Chris
Like
Brown.
Mine.
yeah.
Like I'd say once
They had a little dance.
once he went to the infinite dungeon of trapped artists, which is known as Cash Money. A whole bunch of characters who are unlocked. I mean, who are permanently locked. My bad. That's when he got real cold in the streets. Real cold.
Yeah, I don't think he got no love. It's from that point forward.
Yeah. Then later on,
He did a couple movies that was
he
nice.
resurged. I forgot when he resurged, but he resurged. Oh, when he got on fucking 106 and Park.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he was.
That
He was
was
on 106 and Park. Oh shoot, I forgot all about that.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's I don't know. That's when I noticed people didn't give a fuck about Bow Wow. I was wondering.
But I mean, yeah, but
He was in the public eye.
yeah,
Right. At first, I thought that was just going to be a one-time thing. You know how they would have like guest hosts
Yeah.
on there, and
Well, he
then
was Mr. 106 in Park. Well,
I didn't
What-
even-
that's
what
a
is
title
that?
for like, I guess the guy who's come up there the most, and is like, I don't know, like he was Mr. 106 in Park. Like he was the artist that came, and like everybody would make a big deal out of it and whatnot. I don't know.
good.
I guess.
before he became a host, but he was just still doing like his thing, like being an artist. Like because like what is it, like 90? I don't know when 106 in Park came out until it went out. Like he was on there. Like that's when he was active. So he was the young guy who always came up to the show. Like he would have a lot of buzz for him.
I think that's around about when I stopped watching 106 in Park. Because when you
That's
had
long before that.
when you had AJ and Free, it was cool. When you had Terrence J and I'm sorry, y'all. Insert name of female hostess here.
Big Teddy was on there for a while too before
Yeah.
Jay came up.
Right. But when Bow Wow got on the show, I'm like, oh, okay, this is a sinking ship.
I was around high school, so like I was like, I'm not watching TV like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that was a part of it too.
I got shit to do.
Yeah.
But
This album, it says it's called Odysseus, which is suicide spelled backward.
I think I heard that, but I didn't even register like it. I don't know. It left my mind that Bow Wow's coming out with an album. I thought maybe it was a troll. But
I hope it's a troll.
I'm not gonna lie and say I'm not gonna listen to it because like it's actually being promoted for one. He's going on Breakfast Club, which means like he wants people to see him before his album comes out, which means he cares. He's not just dropping music for people to or not to listen to.
Watch it be a diss
I'm
album.
not gonna listen to it because I think it's gonna be necessarily good, but like I listen to it for the same reason I listen to the Cardi B album, just to see like what is this going to be.
He has to dedicate one track to dissing Little Romeo.
It'd be funny if he did that Lil Romeo came with the bars and like he roasted his ass.
I need that. He comes back with an album called ICDC.
I'm not here for this. I'm not here for this right now.
I need it.
In other news, Atlanta was once again groundbreaking, as it is every episode. And this most previous episode that we watched, what episode is it? Like 4, 5 now? Is it 5?
That was like 6.
Is it 6?
I think it was 5.
I think, yeah.
No, 5 was Barbershop.
That was 5?
I thought that was 4.
Well, no, you know what? I think we did talk about Atlanta in like the first or second podcast, and this is 7. So
This is 6.
Oh,
Episode 6.
yes, okay, yeah, on the second podcast, yeah, this is 7. Wow, okay, but yeah, Teddy Perkins was the star of the last episode. Teddy Perkins.
I'm Teddy Perkins.
Played by the one and only Donald Glover, which I did not know until the second time watching that.
Oh wow! I asked y'all when I was watching,
But the first time I watched it, I fell asleep because I was just tired. It was after work and other things.
Yeah, I
Is
didn't
that Donald?
notice. I didn't notice till you pointed it out.
I didn't
I
know
had a
until the second
sneaking
time watching it.
suspicion. I'm like, first of all, who was playing this character?
Yeah.
Like, who was executing all of this?
I liked it. I liked the performance. Like, I feel like he sold that.
Yeah.
It was a good performance, but his face just looks so serious. So
Yeah.
scary.
It was supposed to. Like, that's.
Yeah, like he was supposed to, but it was very effective.
Yeah.
And not at all did he blink ever once. His eyes were just permanently open. Yes. Grab a water once you get to a little bit second.
Yeah. But seeing it the second time, though, I definitely messed with that episode. Like, it just took. It's such a left turn from the rest of the season. Like,
It's like Get Out Part 2.
yeah, it really was. Yeah.
Part 2.
This man, he sold the shit out of this. When it's one specific part where old buddy, he's talking about like, yeah, you know, I understand. I know it's been difficult and everything. No, you don't.
Oh yeah.
You have no idea. Like, and the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, was Michael Jackson like this?
Mm.
Is this what Time at Neverland Ranch was like?
Oh man. You know what?
Please say no.
You know what? Now that you say that, though, it wouldn't be surprising. But
Michael Jackson is a touchy subject.
yeah, let's not get into that. But how I feel about hazing children to make them great. I don't need children. I'm not gonna haze my children per se, but.
This man shouted out Joe Jackson. He shouted out Marvin Gaye Sr.
Yeah, and
I don't know. That's a touchy thing. Like, I don't know. if the kid enjoys it, then I'm gonna.
I don't think the
push
kid
him.
ever.
No. I mean, if it's like I like playing music, okay, I'm gonna push you.
Oh,
to do more
yeah. I
music,
mean, but
like,
push you in what they were doing.
beating up, yeah, that's.
That's a bit of a stretch. Like,
Did-
that's what I said. I'm gonna haze my little nigga when he is in reality, but not physically. Like it's just gonna be like, hey, what you doing? Why you ain't practicing? You ain't on the pad.
I couldn't imagine that. B flat concert scale. Do 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 do.
That's fucked up. Oh, that's fucked up. But it happens. And I mean, it's fucked up that you can't say it's not effective. Like Michael Jackson, Marvin Gaye. Like,
Hazing is bad, but hazing works.
we don't know this personally.
So I've been told.
But yeah, that is an interesting take
The
on this.
military does it.
Honestly, yeah, that's legal hazing.
I'm not talking about this.
I was just dancing around landmines like
Minesweeper out this fuck.
really rocking around.
But yeah.
I was like,
The,
public to say I've never been hazed.
Wasn't the episode description for this just Darius is tripping in this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just checked it. They changed it.
Oh.
Like, tripping in it. He tripping in this episode. I would have been got out that house.
Hell yeah!
Wait, what did they change it to?
When Darius goes to pick up a piano, he meets Teddy Perkins, a strange, eccentric man who makes him feel uneasy. Uneasy.
I like the first description.
Yeah.
Because he tripping. Like, why did he leave? Why did he want that piano so bad?
You got a 2 regret life limit.
That kid would have been dead so long ago.
Yeah.
He's like, but how would he know? I would tell him.
I've made a mistake.
That whole thing just implies like, are you gonna ask me to kill you one day? Like, what?
I'm not doing it.
Yeah. What the hell? Who's he gonna ask?
You better commit seppuku.
That I cannot live by that standard whatsoever. Like, I think a couple of regrets are okay. I'm not gonna say I want regrets, but I am gonna say like some regrets that I have. I also understand that had I carried out whatever action I would have needed to for it not to be a regret, a lot worse outcome could have happened. So, yeah, just like this episode.
You learn from regrets.
Yeah, exactly.
No regrets.
Well, how does that work though for Darius? Because now that happened, does he regret not leaving the house? Like, that would have been a regret.
I mean, shoot. He got his piano.
No, you
No,
didn't.
it didn't.
Yeah.
No, it didn't.
He took that bitch as evidence.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Biz.
Yeah, that has to be a regret at this point. So what do you do about that? Like, do reverse regrets not count? Or how does it work in his mind? Find out on the next episode.
Does he see it as a regret? I mean, he lived.
I guess not in the sense that now he just has a story to tell. Like, that's the only thing that comes from that. That, I don't know.
He needs whoever he made this deal with as far as regrets. He needs to take him to the parking lot and square up with him.
That apparently is himself.
He's like probably like I saw this story till its full conclusion and like I didn't bail out at any time, so therefore it should not be counted as a regret.
Yeah.
He should still square up. Still got to square up. He was handcuffed. He was this close from death.
Yeah, he did ride the wave of fate and got saved in the end.
It's this far from being main character bullshit.
No, it definitely is main character bullshit. Like, I feel like that man should die. But, I mean, it's a perfectly sensible reason, I guess, why he didn't, but that just don't happen.
Nah, like the guy that's. How do you not know that somebody is alive in your basement for that long?
Yeah. No, he knew. Like, that goes into the theories of, like, what this episode really was. Like, was Teddy Perkins actually the dad? or was he the brother? Was he being tortured, or was he the one doing the torturing? Like, you don't know. But it's a good episode. Y'all ain't on this season of Atlanta. Get on it, because the writing is great, and it is unapologetically black as always. It is just the black experience without any regards for who understands or. Yeah, it's a great show. Watch it. Atlanta. You're going down. Which goes into another thing he's doing. This Han Solo movie, which is coming up next month, real soon. I haven't seen any trailers for it.
I don't want to see trailers.
Yeah, because we talked about this already. We don't watch trailers, but I realized I also don't watch trailers because, like, trailers can give you an expectation for the movie's quality too, and I just don't want to see it because the Star Wars trailers I've never really had a problem with watching because I don't mind kind of being spoiled for Star Wars because usually end up going in a different way anyway. Like I don't know, Episode 7 was just Episode 4 or 1, however you want to look at it.
Rogue One didn't even have elements from the actual movie.
Yeah, like the trailer was completely different from the movie. Like it was a different movie than almost was advertised from the trailer. Because we definitely thought Jin was gonna be
badass, which she actually was,
and definitely Imperial too. Like
I'm saying she was gonna be a double agent.
Yeah, like
she never got to the point of being a double agent.
Yeah, you know, but
they probably saved that for the goddamn game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was that whole canon element of the.
That was probably it too. And her dad was probably just actively working with them and not being held against his will.
Anyway.
Weak.
Yeah, I don't want to see this Han Solo trailer because I don't want to see it and it not be a good trailer. Then I go into the movie with a mindset or implications that I didn't have to have in my head. Like, I just want to go into this one blind. Especially since it's not a part of the main story, so he can go anyway. Like, I feel like I'm not gonna dislike a main story. Like, no matter how, I don't know, they have to really mess it up. Like, Last Jedi, I had no problems with that. I still don't. Not no problems, but
I don't know. I've been hearing that people are starting to lose faith in the movie. So, like, I don't know, I'm kind of weary. So, like, hopefully it's good, but
man, they got Disney money now.
Disney money is not a safety net though. I mean,
it should be.
It should be.
It should be, but it's not.
Because I mean, think about the things that they could do with this movie. This is where you get to see the Millennium Falcon in its prime. You know what I'm saying? Like
to see young children, like
right,
a young Vanessa. The young Vanessa of Star Wars. That is what this movie is supposed to be.
You get to see young Lando Calrissian. Like, this man is
that's
probably,
a finesse. Like, he was one of the primetime Star Wars finesse. He's a judge master. He judged this man on multiple occasions.
Han Solo could jug a financial aid of $500,000. He could do it.
I don't know. I'm gonna see it.
This man, Lando, is Star Wars' space pimp.
Whole time.
Colt 45.
I wonder how, because I seen a picture of Donald Glover meeting with Billy D. Williams. I wonder how much of the voice he's going to replicate in its youth. How do you do a young Billy D. Williams voice? I wonder if he's going to figure that out.
I just think it would say Colt 45. Please do it.
Find a way to throw Colt 45 into a Star Wars movie.
I wonder, like, if he's going to have an assortment of mini capes.
Yeah, they do all have the mini cape. All the smugglers.
This my Monday cape. This my Tuesday cape. This my Wednesday cape and pimp cape.
Because I pimp on Wednesday.
Yes.
Space pimp essentials. You gotta have you pink and purple.
Lando whips out a pink and purple mini cape. I will have so much respect for Star Wars. I can't even lie. Y'all went there.
At least one of them has to have rhinestones. I gotta see some rhinestones.
Iced out mini capes. Imagine black people as in the Star Wars universe, because the Star Wars universe don't have a lot of black people. Like, how would you stunt in the Star Wars universe?
Cosplays for Lando Calrissian would increase 1,000%.
Oh man. I'm glad they're changing that, but it's just funny to think about how black people would be as black people exist in reality. Because we gotta stunt.
So they should get like Nino Brown to play young Jabba the Hutt. Gray. Space Gray.
I can't see. But yeah, we're running out of time in this podcast, so that's all we got. Yeah, tell us what y'all think about y'all worst game experience of waiting on the game and it not being what you thought it was gonna be. Yeah.
Remember to hit the notification bell, baby.
Oh yeah, hit that.
And remember to never shuck and jive.
Never.
Y'all boys.
Don't do it.
They said it. You didn't hear it here, but you heard it here. Yeah. Y'all boys be safe. Like and subscribe. We got more coming. All that jazz.
Here you go. There it is. It's right here.
How long was that?
38 minutes.